Hi, I'm Scott Schubert with Trading Mastermind, and today I'm going to show you another aspect of how to master the business of Forex trading, one that will enable you to rise above what everyone else is doing and make consistent profit. So let's get started with that right now. So what is the one thing that makes all the difference if, for instance, I look back at my results over any given period of time and I look at what other people are doing? What is the one thing that would enable you to get better results? Well, besides understanding what is an entry and how to read the market, even if you can do that, the other thing would be waiting until an entry forms. And some people have told me over the years, I have a very fast-paced personality type. So I can't really do this type of trading like a swing trading or waiting a day or two or waiting longer periods of time to enter or to exit a trade because I have a really fast-paced personality. I need to get in, I need to get out, I need to be trading all the time. And what they're actually saying is, this is true. What those people are actually saying is, I am so incredibly weak and I have no character at all. Therefore, I can't discipline myself and wait until an entry forms. I have to be getting into trades when there's no entry, and I can't actually discipline myself to do what would really work. Because I'm so weak, I have to do something that's not working. So if you're one of those people who said, I have a fast-paced personality, that's why I need to trade on the short-term time frame and just get in and get out all the time, that's what you're actually saying. Because you can look at the charts, you can see whether they moved and whether there was any entries and so forth. And once you can read the market and see when does it turn and how often does it turn, and why would you want to get into a trade, soon you'll realize that if you're going to get profit, you can't make the market form an entry, so therefore you have to wait until it forms an entry. For instance, information comes to us kind of slowly over a period of time sometimes. Like for instance, when I discovered that the Aussie pairs made an end of a trend on the daily time frame, it was a beautiful, perfect end of a trend. But in reality, this actually happened over the weekend with the opening of the market. And the week before, I told everyone this pair is about to form an end of a trend. It might do it at the end of the day on Friday, in which case I've seen it happen before. But normally you wouldn't even be considering entering the trade at the end of the day on Friday, or it might form it at the beginning of next week with the opening of the market. And that's what it actually did. But the funny thing is, the market gapped down and then gradually started to form this end of a trend, so that it took time for us to be able to see that it had actually formed it. And then by the time it had formed it, we go to the next shorter time frame. This is the most beautiful and perfect example of an end of a trend. And yet it was kind of difficult to execute the trade at the right time. So then on the next shorter time frame, it formed a perfect uptrend and then a correction going down that went down even more than I was expecting it to go. And then another end of a trend. That took a lot of time for that to form. And in the meantime, the market was going down. And all of this stuff takes a long time. And this is why I continually encourage everyone to be able to look at a chart on any time frame, not just longer time frames, but to identify and see for yourself, where did the market actually turn, and follow through with a turn. Because as I discussed in a previous video, this is what's required to get profit, the market has to make a turn on some time frame. Even when a trend is continuing, it's making a turn for an end of a correction on a shorter time frame, and that turn can be identified. If the market is just continuing to go and you're looking back at that, thinking that that would be a good place to enter, you're just fantasizing that you would like to have gotten in based on some kind of a luck. But no luck is needed to identify the end of a correction, to identify the continuation of a trend, because it forms a turning point that is identifiable. And if you can learn to read those, you can look at any currency pair on any time frame and discover where did it turn and then follow through with that turn. And that would be required in order to get profit from entering a trade. If you enter a trade and that doesn't happen, then you won't get profit. And the one thing that I've discovered every single time is that if I ever have any losing trades, it's not from entering not frequently enough. It's not from entering too infrequently or not enough. It's always from not waiting long enough every single time. If there's a losing trade, it's almost always caused by not waiting long enough. And you can see how many trades have actually formed if you can understand how to read markets. You can take a chart and identify where did it turn and where would you logically be able to enter a trade and get profit from entering that trade. You should be able to see it yourself and see how many times did it do that in the previous day and in the previous week, in the previous month. How many times did it do that? And if you can do that, soon you will be seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. And you'll see how often would you want to enter a trade. Well, I would want to enter a trade when the market does that. If it's not doing that, I would not want to enter a trade because that would be stupid and I would lose. So if you're one of the people that wants to keep on entering trades when you would lose, then that's not a very good idea. You may want to learn to read the market and enter the trades when the market is turning and is going to follow through with the turn, and that would enable you to profit. And the one thing that I have proven to be true is that the most common reason for losing trades is from not waiting long enough. So if you want to find out what actually works in trading, go to tradingmastermind.com.